Welcome to the Scripted Wellness. Thank you for joining TSW family. They say the most dangerous person is the one you never suspect. We all like to think we have a gut feeling for danger, a sixth sense that tingles when something is off. But for Sarah, that intuition was dead silent. She thought she was living a dream, but she was actually just a character in someone else's nightmare. Today, we're breaking down the bone-chilling story of She Didn't See It Coming. If you love twists that make you question everyone in your own life, stay tuned. This book is a masterclass in packing. It reminds us that the greatest threats aren't lurking in dark alleys. They're sitting across from us at the dinner table. If you're looking for a read that will keep you up until 3 a.m., this is it. The story introduces us to Sarah, successful, independent, but a little lonely. When she meets Mark, he's almost too perfect. He's attentive, he's wealthy, and he shares every single one of her interests. It's a whirlwind romance. But as they move into a secluded home away from the city, the perfection starts to feel like a cage. Tiny red flags are dismissed as protective love. The house was perfect. Too perfect. Nestled at the end of a long, winding driveway in the hills of Vermont, it was everything Sarah had ever dreamed of. Floor-to-ceiling glass, the scent of cedar, and the silence of the woods. Standing beside her was Mark, the man who had swept her off her feet in a whirlwind 6-month romance. He squeezed her hand. "Our fresh start," he whispered. Sarah smiled, ignoring the tiny cold shiver that ran down her spine. She told herself it was just the mountain air. She didn't see it coming. She couldn't have. Because the most dangerous trap isn't the one with iron bars, it's the one lined with silk. Sarah begins finding things that don't belong to her. A stray earring, a photograph hidden in a book she's never opened. Mark's excuses are seamless, but the atmosphere is curdling. The genius of this book isn't in the jump scares, it's in the gaslighting. The author makes us feel exactly what Sarah feels, a slow-growing dread that her reality isn't what it seems. The first month was a blur of expensive wine and starlit dinners. But then, the isolation began to set in. Mark accidentally broke her phone. The car keys started going missing. He was protective, he said. The world was dangerous for someone as precious as her. One afternoon, while Mark was at the office, Sarah found a loose floorboard in the back of the walk-in closet. Beneath it wasn't gold or jewelry. It was a stack of driver's licenses. Different names: Chloe, Alina, Samantha. But they all shared one terrifying trait. They all looked exactly like Sarah. Same blonde bob, same hazel eyes. Her heart hammered against her ribs like a trapped bird. She realized then that she wasn't a wife. She was a replacement. Sarah tried to run, but the smart home system was her warden. The doors were deadbolted by an app she didn't have access to. Every room had a camera. Every word she whispered was recorded. Then came the night of the storm. Mark returned home early, his eyes darker than usual. He didn't yell, He didn't get angry. He simply sat her down and showed her a video on his laptop. It was Sarah, 3 hours earlier, prying at that floorboard. "I was hoping you'd be smarter than the others, Sarah," he sighed, his voice terrifyingly calm. "I really was." The psychological warfare shifted. He began gaslighting her, telling her she was imagining things, that the licenses were just props for a legal case he was working on. He drugged her tea, making her sleep for 14 hours at a time, waking up disoriented and weak. Sarah realized she couldn't outrun him. She had to outplay him. She stopped fighting. She became the perfect doll he wanted. She smiled, she cooked, and she waited. One night, she managed to switch their teacups. As Mark's eyes began to glaze over, Sarah grabbed his phone to unlock the gates. Just when Sarah thinks she's found a way out, she discovers the truth about Mark's past. And here is the kicker. Mark isn't the only one with a secret. It's a betrayal that comes from the one place she felt safest. But as she scrolled through his messages, the real it she didn't see coming hit her. Mark wasn't the mastermind. He was the victim. The messages were from Sarah's own sister, Rebecca, the sister Sarah thought had died years ago. Rebecca was the one directing Mark, blackmailing him, using him to break Sarah's mind. Why? Because their father's multi-million-dollar inheritance only went to the sole surviving daughter. Sarah looked up to see a shadow in the doorway. It wasn't Mark. It was a woman with the same blonde bob and the same hazel eyes. The ending is a whirlwind of shadows and shattered glass. In a final confrontation, Sarah realizes that to survive her sister, she has to become the monster everyone thought Mark was. The book ends with a chilling scene. A woman pulls out of the driveway in the Vermont hills. She looks in the rearview mirror and smiles. But as the camera lingers, we realize we don't actually know which sister is behind the wheel. Go find out. Come back and comment below. If you like our recommendations and stories, subscribe and shower your love. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a twist. Share this with a book lover you know who needs a new psychological thriller to keep them up at night. See you in the next video.